Hello, everybody, and welcome to Show and Tell.
Hello.
What are we doing for the next half an hour?
Good question. Well, we're going to hang out and sit here, and all these cool people from the maker community and Adafruit community are going to come by with their 3D printing, their soldering, their synthesizers, their IoT platforms, and pixel circuit board pixel art, and more. And they're going to show it to us, and other people can show up because this is our Show and Tell where anyone can join. We're going to be here for the next 25 minutes checking in with folks. First up is going to be Jay.
Jay, what you got cooking this week?
Hey, Jay from DigiKey.
I finally finished my new pair of glasses. They just got done literally 2 days ago.
Hot, still warm from the printer.
Yes, very still warm, all 3D printed as you can see from all the layer lines. The iris works pretty much better than the last pair, which makes me happy. And then, of course, you have the actual working functioning eye, which is pretty good as well. You can kind of see a little bit. I'm trying to give the camera a little bit. This stuff you can see where you can actually use these, and I am happy with them. I have to add a resistor to the motor speed, but other than that, design-wise, they're wonderful. And now I am going to be working on a smaller version that's going to be more of a monocle for people to make at home. I just have to figure out what components to use for that one, but at the end of the day, I am very happy with these.
They look cool.
I'm going to tell everybody that these are the new Apple augmented reality goggles.
Yeah.
It's funny because these are actually lighter than the last pair I had, which is like, I guess I figured out math and science a lot better to make them a little easier because they actually feel a lot better and don't fall off my face right away.
Yeah.
You can carry a lot on your head. Like I've had like heavy headsets and like VR stuff. You could get away with a lot, but eventually it's like, it'll leave marks or it gets hot.
These are pretty comfy because I use plastic frames, not the metal frames. The last one used frames that kept getting stuck in my hair. Plastic frames are a lot better I've noticed, but I still need to test them out for at least a week and then mark the good and the bad before going into full on like, all right, let me cut out a pair of glasses type of situation.
Yeah.
They look great.
All right. So if folks want to learn more about these, build these, or do something with these one day, what's their go? Where do they?
You can find me on Twitter, of course, but also keep an eye on DigiKey and our Meg.io because that's where I publish all my work now.
Really?
Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much, Jay, and come back as you refine this design. And I'm looking forward to waiting in line for these at the Apple Store. All right.
No,
Thanks, guys.
Next, and what you got going on this week?
Hi, everybody. I think I've teased on the interwebs, and I released a guide, finally, on making PCB jewelry.
That's great.
These look like little floppy disks, and they're made with Oshpark purple PCBs. But if somebody's more nostalgic for black or even pink, they can send it off to their favorite board shop. Let's see. Most of the software is open source, and one is trialware. So it uses Winter Bloom's Gingerbread website, which is free, and that converts your vector art into KiCad footprints, which you can just paste in, and then that generates all the art files that the board place will want to make them. So you just send off and you get several copies of your circuit board, and you can make floppies, or you can make almost anything you can think of. Just thinking about layering different parts of the PCB and making that the various colors in your design.
All right.
That's
awesome.
great. And it's so iconic. You could tell, exactly what it is. For the youngins, it's a save icon, but for everyone else, it's like
Well, they look great, and there's more to come. Okay.
Oh, definitely. There's more PCBs, so keep an eye out on the learning system.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be talking about it tonight on Ask an Engineer. All right. Well, thanks, Ann.
Thank you, Ann.
All right. Next up, I think we're going to go to Loren. Loren, you want to show your demo?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody.
Everybody say hi to Loren.
Hi, Loren.
All right.
Hey.
What you got going on?
Yeah. I came to show off a new firmware installer that we've got live on I/O now. So I've got myself a nice feather.
For folks who don't know Loren, so I just wanted to introduce Loren because Loren's an Adafruit team member. We have a lot of Adafruit team members on here. Loren's one of the folks who's been working on Whippersnapper and Adafruit.io, which has been going absolutely great.
Killing it.
We just had a ton of people visit Adafruit, and they're like, "Oh, like whoever's working on Whippersnapper.io, tell them thank you. They're making it," because our joke is like we're making IoT too easy. But anyways, I'll get out of your way now. Do your demo.
Thank you. That was a great intro. Yeah. So yeah, I've got a Feather ESP32 V2 here that I want to get on Whippersnapper. So I'm going to show off the process now. So I simply go to new device. I'm just going to type V2, knowing that the search will find it. There it is. I meant to do this beforehand, but I'm going to type in my secrets right in front of you. And now, if you've used the old installer, you used to have to type in your AIO key. That's automatically handled now magically behind the scenes for you. And now via web serial, we can actually install the firmware straight from the website due to the magic of the web serial API. So you don't see the pop-up here, but it's actually showing me, having me pick the device from my various serial connections. And I picked it, and now things are cooking. So it's connected to the device. It's erased the flash. It's downloaded a zip file full of firmware files, turned them into firmware files that are signed with my key, or they have my key bundled in, and it's actually flashing them onto this device now. Yeah, that's kind of it. It's almost like there's not a whole lot to show off because it's like a one-click installer. It just works.
Yeah, it's too easy. It's like, okay, you installed software, like, but this is so.
The magic is it does everything.
This is and like folks Google it or look at our learning system, whatever. Web serial is really amazing, really powerful, and I think we're really pushing the boundaries of what you can do with hardware. Like we have like real examples. It really works, and it makes things like it was so hard to get anything on a device and do anything. Now it's just like boring. Like, look, it just, your demo.
Yeah. So maybe it was, a few seconds of dead air there, but it was really only about a minute and the whole thing is done. So I'm just going to press reset and click the next step here on the installer and pray to the demo gods. Oh, it's working. Yeah. I don't know if you can see the lights flashing, but it's going to flash.
And that's live. That could be anywhere in the world.
All right. And then you can say.
Yeah, there it is. It just connected.
Yay!
Right up. So there it is. End to end, no code, no command line, just click on a website, plug a USB cable in, and your device is connected to Whippersnapper.
Yeah. And what's neat is once you connect a board like the Feather, as a STEMMA connector, you can do more sensors, and we're adding sensors all the time.
Okay, wait. I feel like let's do. I'm gonna just like.
What are you doing?
Speed round, Loren. Can you add an LED connected to the pin 13 LED and turn it on and off, or not the pin 13, the onboard LED? Yeah, the LED built in.
Yep. In fact, I didn't have to do anything. It automatically detected that would be there.
The component. Okay, and then show it. Maybe you can make him large so you can.
Yeah. All right.
It's a small LED.
All right. I'm gonna
okay. So now you press the button on the website, and it turns on and off.
Yeah, I'm pressing the button on the website, even though you can't see that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Amazing. Yeah.
Look, you get a little.
You put the slider, and it just works.
Just works. No code. It's already for you. The whole world is available to you now.
This is the dream. I mean, it's just like it's so easy. Even a girl can do it. No, it's so easy. Even a front-end web developer can do it.
Well,
yeah, there we go.
A lot of folks are like, I just want to know when my basement is leaking. That's it. That's all I just want to. That's all I want to do. And these are you can start to cobble together your own custom things without even doing any coding at all. But it's really powerful. You can if you want. There's a lot of other things.
We've had reports from people who know how to do all this stuff, and they're like, "Look, there's too much work. Like you said, I've got the board, I've got the component. I don't want to go download a bunch of stuff. I don't want to write the code. If I could just click, I don't need to learn all that stuff. I know how to do it. And if I could just do it fast, I would do a lot more of this.
You basically did what normally would be like a 4-day IoT. And by the way, everything is SSL. It's all secure connected. You have it all set up. It's working perfectly, and you did it in under 2.5 minutes. I also think for like IoT demos, like you spend like 20 hours on it, and then it blinks, and it is a big deal. But it is kind of better if it's only like a minute and it blinks. Like, look, I spent like a minute. Look, blinks. I think that's the right amount of time. Like, for the
some of these boards boot really fast too. So it's variable, but and it's only getting better. Lots more coming this year. So
all right, Loren, great demo. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
So exciting.
All right.
Loren and Brent are our power team.
Next up, Scott, what you got going on this week?
Oh, I got nerd sniped by Lady Ada. So nerd sniping is a term that I brought along to say that like you distract a nerd with something interesting. And Lamore brought up the bus pirate and how it's becoming unobtainium due to the chips that are used in it. And she's had this idea of re-implementing the bus pirate in CircuitPython. So I just wanted to share a window. I've been working on re-implementing it. So I'm using the dual CDC nature of CircuitPython. So the top part of this window is the output I'm getting from CircuitPython, and the bottom part is the second CDC connection that is acting like a bus pirate. So you can see that I can type like question mark, and there's debug stuff at the top, and then the like regular bus pirate-y stuff at the bottom that you're getting. So you can say like, what is it? This is on the RP2040, but it's generic CircuitPython code, so it should kind of work across everything. Although there will be pin mapping that you have to do. And then there's also like a history that you can do. So you could do like, I want to rerun command 2. That's all standard bus pirate stuff. So if you've used bus pirate, I haven't actually used it before, but if you've used it or you do use it, please ping me on Discord and let me know how you use it, because there's a lot of stuff that bus pirates can do, and I kind of like, I don't have a great feeling for like what the things are that people actually use. So that'd be super helpful if anybody's had experience with bus pirate. I ordered one, so I'll be able to compare the two.
Yeah, this is what actually, this project is 6 years old. This is one of the first things when we got the SAMD 21 going. It's actually one of the first things I tried doing, and I hit a bunch of roadblocks. There was only one USB UART, and so I was like, hey, let's add support for the second one. That happened a couple of years ago. Didn't ran out of memory very quickly, and we did the SAMD 51, but then I ended up not finishing the project then because we didn't have that second UART. But now the RP2040 is excellent for this kind of debugging, and there's a couple other things that came together, and I was like, now might be a really good time to revisit this very old project. I love bringing out stuff from like 6-7 years ago and being like, last commit 5 years ago, and I'm like, today's the day.
Yeah. The bus pirate was like this useful tool that everyone had, and then it's kind of not available, and also there's been a lot of advancements in chips, so we can do a lot more now too. So it'll be nice to have this. Does anyone say like Swiss Army knife? Like,
it is like a Swiss Army knife.
Does anyone say that anymore?
I think it's a trademark, so I just think they have to use multi-tool.
Okay.
I can say multi-tool.
It's like a multi-tool of electronics. Okay.
Right. Yeah, and if people have code that they wrote for a bus pirate, like this allows them to use that with any CircuitPython device.
Yeah, because it's been discontinued. We used to stock it, and actually we put in a restocking order, and they're like, we don't know when it's going to be available because of the chip shortage. So it just affected it.
Yeah, I wasn't able to buy any V4s. I got a V3.6.
There's a couple left. Yeah, we just sold out like 2 weeks ago, and we can't get any more.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Scott.
Cool.
Next, Jepler, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I was out for a couple of weeks doing PyCon and seeing Utah Park, so I don't really have a cool new project to show off. I have one that I did probably like 15 years ago. So it's just in this little shadow box here.
Okay.
And I'm going to reach back and turn on the power.
What is it?
Oh,
and it lights up. It's a giraffe. So this I gave to my mother-in-law. She loved giraffes, and she passed away a year and a half ago, and now it's mine again. So it's plexiglass cut on a CNC machine with some yellow and red LEDs at the top and bottom, and it just lights up in this kind of, I thought it was a giraffe orange color.
Yeah, nice.
And almost like
sit on my bookshelf now, and I'll remember. Anyway, that's what I've got tonight.
That's really neat. And thanks for all the stuff that you did at PyCon, bringing people together.
Yeah, it was a really great time. We met so many folks at the open spaces and at the sprint. And yeah, I love it. So take this kind of as your early warning. I will want to go next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and JP, I think is
you can record this and play it back to us in about 350 days.
I saw. Where do they do? Is it going to be in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh, and it'll be in May next year.
Oh, great! That's not too far from us, too.
All right, we could make a countdown with the clock with a pipe portal. All right,
that would be fun.
All right, thanks so much, Jeff.
And JP will come by in a little bit and show what I've actually been working on in CircuitPython land.
So. All right, he's up next.
All right.
What a good segue. You know, we script all of. There's a writer strike, but we've been managing. All right, JP, what you got going on?
I was just incepted by Jepler. That's amazing. Yeah. So Jepler, Jeff is a little too modest because while he was on vacation and at PyCon and at the national parks, he was writing code for the Synth.io library in CircuitPython, specifically code for doing essentially amplitude envelopes or volume envelopes. I've got this code running on a Metro M7 right here, and it's reading MIDI messages coming over sort of serial or UART MIDI from this little keyboard. And the cool thing that's going on here is that when I normally press a note, when you tell a note to make some noise in a synthesizer, sort of the most simple thing you can say is what's the pitch of it, and are we playing the note or are we not playing the note? So that's just like a really simple hard on off, something like this. Right, so that's a little
it's buzzer-like. It's a buzzer on-off.
And a buzzer-like, yeah. It's just on-off, hard-off. So what an envelope does is it allows you to ramp up gradually how the from nothing to full volume goes. You can do some other stuff in the middle, but then also when you release the note, does it gradually fade off? And that's making those changes is what sort of gives you a lot of the interest in a synthesizer's notes. So I have that actually in this code, which is from Toddbot, who's also been playing around with this. I have that envelope of how softly it comes in and out. What's the word I'm looking for? Attached to or mapped to the velocity of these keys. So how fast I press them. You'll notice I press them real fast and they're on off very quickly. If I press them a little more slowly,
ooh.
You can hear it has a nice sort of tail going out there. You can hear it a little better probably with more notes.
Well, this is the theme to Solaris.
Right, versus if I hit those real hard. Which you might want that effect too, and so we've got the options now. So Jepler's worked on this ADSR, which is attack, sustain, decay, and release. It's a sort of typical pattern. It gives you a bazillion options. And one other thing I wanted to show off in this is that Todd also started implementing a sort of mixing of wave shapes or wave tables. So the notes that I'm playing, even if I just play one and hold it, I can kind of mold the harmonics that we're hearing and sort of shift between the different wave forms. And I'm using a off key. You can't see it over here, but there's a little control. I'm wiggling over here, kind of like a mod wheel. I'm wiggling to do that. So super exciting, and I'm going to be integrating this into the very cool computer perfection 1980s that looks like 1960s sci-fi ashtray toy thing that PT discovered. So it should give us some really nice, with these long sort of releases, it should give us some cool sort of pad type of ambient sounds, which I'm looking forward to doing with it.
All right, cool. And they can tune in tomorrow on your show. And I think in the daily builds, folks can grab this and play along.
That's right. Yeah. Jeff can point you at it if you can't find it, but it's I think it's in the Amazon S3.
Yeah, works with RP 2040. So this is great. This is really cool.
Yeah, this is as you're making the joke during we have a meeting beforehand that JP and Toddbot are like, they're just completely disfigured synth heads. Like they're just like, I've been in the dark making synth. And Jepler is like this like pure-faced proto hobbit, like who knows nothing about synthesizers, and so it's like, well, I'll just implement whatever seems to make sense, and it doesn't have the analysis paralysis.
He asks the right questions, and
it doesn't have any assumptions about it, and so I kind of feel like Jepler's throwing you like meat on a stick, and you're just like grabbing, you're like you're like some monster sitting in the dark that turns just into synth nerds. I mean, like honestly, I think I can say that because I designed the first product I make with synth too. So I'm 100% guilty of.
You've been there, right?
I've been there. I speak of myself. So the less you know, sometimes the better it is.
Hey, if I have a quick second, I also wanted to show the guide that just came out is for this beauty.
Yes, we're going to show this little video, and we're going to show the guide too.
Great, good. Yes, I just wanted to give it one last.
This is great.
loving pat before it goes off to its rightful owner, which is my friend Ryan, who actually owns this Star Trek LCARD panel from the set, and I built the rest of this to go with it.
This is exactly the right amount of Star Trek that you probably need in your home, because you could turn your living room into the bridge, but like this is kind of like, hey, like I really like it. We'll talk about it. It's real, but you're not on the bridge in your living room.
That's right. And he has a couple options with the buttons on the Matrix portal here. We can switch to just still if you don't want it blinking all the time.
Yeah.
So that's one of the choices. And then with the other button, I can go through different levels of brightness. So depending on how
that's nice.
How much that's bothering you, like trying to watch Picard on the TV or something like that. We go fully dark.
Yeah, this was a tough project. It was like, how do you blink only subsections? And we were like looking at how they did it historically, and it's you'd hand wire it. And I was like, well, like what if we just put like an RGB matrix behind it and you just like mapped out the pixels, and that actually looks great, Yeah.
Yeah.
It even has perfectly even, so it even has a little bit of that nice kind of classic incandescent look.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, good work, JP.
Thanks so much.
Your friend will be so happy.
Next, Pedro, do you want me to bring Noyan to the side here too? Or are you both doing this one? Or
no, I think he has something else. Man, I hate to segue from Star Trek into Star Wars. I'm here just to say happy early May the 4th.
We like both sides.
Use the Force, Picard.
Yeah.
Does Star Trek have a holiday?
No, they don't do.
Yeah, there's Star Trek Day. Yeah, because we've changed our logo on our site. There's Star Trek Day.
Star Trek Day.
Oh,
there's
that's right.
Day, right?
Yeah, there's Federation Day.
Yeah, you're right. Duh.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was showing off I don't know who wears these, the Bo-Katan and like some of the other Mandalorians and Ahsoka. I think it's supposed to be like a communication thing. So I know PT, you like wearables that have the subtle like LEDs in it. This was definitely a candidate for that. Want to give a shout out to Bill Baker,
this is totally
who was like, oh, you guys should use like hot glue for doing the
I didn't even notice you were wearing
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just hot glue to do the diffusion. And then the thing I'm really proud of is the coin cell battery, just the little whatchamacallit, the
also looks like one of the headbands from like Cloud City, except for it doesn't have the big cans on the side. It's like you're like one of the air traffic controllers talking to Landau Calrissian. It's like the deal changed. Better hope I don't change it more.
Better hope
I like it because it's like it's so hard to do DIY props that have such a fine element. It's actually like ironically, it's quite hard to do something so subtle. Usually, it's like this gigantic honking LED.
I know. I've been looking around, and of course, Disney does not make one or have one with LEDs in it, like the ones on Amazon. So I was like, okay, this might be cool to put on.
I'm also going to tell everyone this is the augmented reality headset from Apple.
Yeah.
It could be. But yeah, we'll release this next week. I was sick, so I wanted to have it for this week, but couldn't make it. It'll be out next week. That's what I got.
Right
simple
on.
LED wearable.
Next up, we're going to go to Noe, and then we'll wrap up with Brandon Lynn. Noe, what you got going on?
I was muted. There we go. All right. So yeah, this is last week's project, but I wanted to share it this week. So I made a little snap fit case for the new Feather RP2040 with the USB host. So we just got a little.
Sorry.
There we go. Here it is. So it's a simple 2-piece enclosure. No supports needed and no screws. So this just fits in here. And then we have a hot glue bit. That's used as a light diffuser in the top cover, and I like doing these little button actuators on the cover so that you can actually press the button with the cover on. And then I also have a little hole for the STEMMA QT port, so you can use that. And then let me see if I can. There it is. Got a little USB cable, and then with that tip that Bill Binko gave us, it makes a really nice light diffuser when you add a dab of hot glue. So you just add a little chamfer to the hole, and then the hot glue doesn't seep through. It just kind of bubbles out a little bit so that it gives you a nice viewing angle for the onboard NeoPixel. So it's really nice. Also added some tabs so folks can use zip ties or screws to attach the case to something else. Also have a little slot here if you want to pass some wires through. That's always nice to have. And that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple case. Thanks. And I always like doing the button pressers so I can still use the boot button or the reset button
But it doesn't. You don't bump it accidentally. It's like you have to purposefully.
Yeah, exactly. You have to actually press it in there. So that's nice. So if folks want to get a little case for their shiny new feather, check this one out. It is up on the Learn Guide and on Printables and Thingiverse. So
All right.
yeah.
Thanks so much. And don't forget, folks, you can tune in to learn how to make all these things or go behind the scenes of making these things on 3D Hangouts every Wednesday.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Johnny. All right, Brendan, you want to play us out?
Hey, yeah, play out. So every year I do a e-challenge coin, which is a little, these are small. I mean, these are really small. But you're always restricted to what solder mask and silkscreen color you can use. And it got me thinking, solder mask is ink. Silkscreen is ink. And so this year when I designed it, I started out with that. And then being a maker and doing a small volume of a couple hundred of something, I have one of those manual solder paste stencil printer things. And I realized I could double duty that thing into a silkscreen printer using old school silkscreen technique. And so I went through the process of teaching myself the nuances of doing silkscreening onto hard surface. And I was able to take this and turn it into this.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's so cool.
And so this year for my challenge coin, again, you can see it's small. It actually is, in addition to sort of cryptic challenges you have to do with the touch sensors and the buzzer and the LEDs, and it's got side mount LEDs that shine through that. It also has a UART connector, and it's got a story every year, and you have to read through the story and solve the challenges that the protagonist has. But now it's actually got some games in it. Of course, it's got that particular game in it. Yeah, it turns out that you can actually do old school traditional silk screening and use solder mask ink.
Yeah.
On a silk screening machine. And so this will actually reflow at standard reflow temperatures, and the inks don't change color and anything else. And so this is my can it be done? I guess it can. I'm going to try kind of project. So yeah.
A while ago there was folks that they got like the PCB printers. They would do color printing on top of PCBs, and they're really beautiful designs, but the machines are like $10,000 or whatever, and you didn't get the functionality. I think with being able to touch the electronics, and they still could do things. So this is really neat.
Yeah, the challenge with we always say that the holy grail is UV printers where you can get full fidelity, full color printing, but they're still struggling with what happens when you reflow it at 275 Celsius or something. This is solder mask ink, and those are actually capacitive touch underneath all that ink, and it works fine.
It's durable too. It's not even if you could UV print that stuff off of.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I've had one of these in my pocket for weeks to just field test it, and it works great. So yeah, it turns out you can use old school silk screening technique to do with solder masking ink to color your PCBs.
Wait till you find out how PCB houses put silkscreen on.
So if folks want to find out more about this, how could they learn something?
Yep. So I learned a lot. I made some mistakes along the way, and I've got what I think is a process that's reproducible by anybody. So I'm designing a new PCB specifically to take through this process.
Oh, cool.
And it's going to use all sorts of fun color, and it's going to do you can, because it's old school silk screening, you can actually put multiple colors down, mix them together, and spread them through and get like a rainbow effect. And so I'm going to be playing around with that, and I'm going to write up a whole tutorial on it. It's going to take me probably about a month.
Right on. I look forward to the first tie-dye PCB. Put on a spinner. Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing this. This is beautiful.
Thank you so much, Bradan. Okay.
All right, everybody, that's our show. Thanks so much for joining us this week. This is our favorite half an hour of the week every single week. We're going to be here next week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and Ask an Engineer starts in about a minute. We'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye, buddy.